We are coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios in the heart of Johannesburg. This is Prime News on SABC 3. And here's what's dominating in your leads at this hour.
It was your view that this investigation was being directed in a particular way?
That is correct. That is the reason why I refused and said I can't get involved into this thing.
Senior IDAC investigator has confirmed his colleague, the IDAC state advocate's testimony that former IDAC head advocate Andrea Johnson told untruths when she appeared before the ad hoc committee. A state witness in the attempted murder trial of Vusumuzi Cat Matlala and 4 others has told the High Court in Johannesburg that his decision to arrest alleged gunman Musa Kekana was justified. It has just gone 6 o'clock and you are watching Prime News on SABC 3. Good evening and welcome to it. My name is Beki Mutumumulete and I'm joined by a sign language interpreter, Snovuyo Fihlani. Let's take a look at the day's biggest stories that impact the world we live in, starting off with your leads. A state witness in the attempted murder trial of Vusumuzi Cat Matlala and 4 others has told the High Court in Johannesburg that his decision to arrest alleged gunman Musa Kekana was justified. Captain P. Misekgobela is currently testifying in a trial within a trial where Kekana is fighting to have evidence obtained during his 2024 arrest thrown out. Kekana is on trial with Matlala, Diego Mabusela, Tsakani Matlala and Ntabiseng Zama on charges of attempted murder and conspiracy to commit murder.
Musa Kekana was initially arrested in connection with the murder of Vereeniging-based engineer Aman Swart. Police say the Hyundai i20, which was used during Swart's shooting, was found at his home. State witness Captain P. Misekgobela says this justified his arrest, even without an arrest warrant.
We are arresting them for the murder that transpired in Vereeniging.
Charge ya dithunya e tsene ka morago ge di kreiwa go gare ga I20 go house number 34.
The firearm charge then came out later when the firearms when the firearms were discovered in the house.
Kekana, who is accused of pulling the trigger on Sienki Mugubung, Josie Banyoni and Tebogo Tobejani, is accusing the police of acting rogue on the day of his arrest. He is questioning the lawfulness of their actions. Sekgobela admitted to the court that he too was not pleased with how Kekana's home was searched.
Because when they discover some items, they were not putting back whatever that they discovered the item from.
Sekgobela is expected back on the witness stand on Monday. Neria Hlakotsa, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Former Justice Minister Jeff Radebe has told the TRC Cases Inquiry probing alleged efforts to stall the prosecution of apartheid-era perpetrators that he has no knowledge of any political interference to stifle investigations. Testifying at the inquiry in Johannesburg earlier today, he said that as minister, his role was limited, barring him from interfering with operational matters of an independent entity like the National Prosecuting Authority.
Yes, I do know precisely what my role was as a Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development vis-a-vis the role of the NPA and the National Director of Public Prosecution, that as a minister I should not interfere in the prosecutorial decisions of the NDPP. And during my tenure as a Minister of Justice, I never sought to interfere with that, because as a lawyer myself by training, I understood, and also as a political activist, I was always very aware of how during apartheid there was interferences by ministers of justice with magistrate judges and so on. So it was something that was very conscious in my mind.
Former Build One South Africa member of the Gauteng legislature, Ayanda Ali, has joined Action SA. The announcement comes 14 weeks ahead of the local government elections and on the eve of the final voter registration weekend. Ali was announced as the party's 2026 election campaign ambassador for Gauteng municipalities.
The recently expelled former BOSA member, Ayanda Ali, says discussions about joining her new political home started last year.
There were conversations with a couple of other organizations, but one didn't quite feel as at home as one feels now in Action SA. So it was not a wake up in the morning knee-jerk reaction, oh my gosh, I've been expelled, where to now, let's rush.
We've got 14 weeks to go, and we need her to be a force multiplier. To be an additional voice, so she will in essence focus on issue advocacy, issue driving. She will champion campaign issues that will be identified by the provincial campaign team.
The party also revealed that its membership has increased.
The stats we released today is that Action SA's membership has now exceeded the amount of voters who voted for Action SA on the national ballot of the 2024 election. And that's important because at the end of the day, you get many more votes than you have members. Members are an enabling factor.
Action SA believes Ali will add value to its campaigning strategy ahead of the upcoming local government elections. Refilo Mekwa, SABC News, Johannesburg.
When we come back, South African motorists could soon enjoy far fewer trips to license renewal centres. We'll give you more on this after the break. Welcome back to Prime News on SABC3. Senior IDAC investigator Mancha Rapesu has confirmed his colleague IDAC State Advocate Rushantha Ramsame's testimony that former IDAC head advocate Andrea Johnson told untruths when she appeared before the Parliament's ad hoc committee. Rapesu further echoed Ramsame's allegation that the Fadil Adams Section 27 referral affidavit that was flighted before the Madlaga Commission is not the original they were given.
Please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you.
Former IDAC head advocate Andrea Johnson's troubles are far from over as yet another witness has come forward to challenge her assertions before the ad hoc committee and the Madlaga Commission that the political killings task team was not being investigated.
I was watching when the ID was presenting at ad hoc. So there was a point where she indicated that PKTT was not part of the Section 27 referral. So that is when now I started looking at it differently, because I was shocked because the Section 27 that I saw, that information was there.
Rapesu further echoed Ramsame's sentiments that it would have been impossible for now suspended Chief IDAC investigator, Dylan Paramal, to have secured an additional statement from MP Fadil Adams outside of their presence.
Was there an occasion or a moment when the two of you were somewhere else and Mr. Paramal was alone with Mr. Adams?
No, that never occurred.
He also affirmed the suspicion that these investigations by IDAC into crime intelligence were allegedly geared towards specific targets. This is his refusal to draft a subpoena for Major General Philani Lushaba's bank accounts allegedly landed him on the wrong side of Johnson.
So it was your view that this investigation was being directed in a particular way?
That is correct. That is the reason why I refused and said I can't get involved into this thing.
The hearings continue on Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. when the IDAC stream is set to intensify. Adams, who is at the center of the storm, will appear on the 11th of August. Kani Mapanga, SABC News, Pretoria.
Mpumalanga's coal belt is embracing a new energy future. The Umbila Emoyeni Wind Energy Facility has officially begun commercial operations in Bethel. Its first 155 megawatts marks the start of a 900 megawatt renewable energy program aimed at strengthening the country's electricity supply.
This project underscores the value of partnership between government, ESCOM, the private sector, finance institutions, and companies. And I want to commend the company that has built these turbines that have enabled this project to be where it is. I hear it is the largest turbine company in the world, and we're very pleased that it is a company that is riding on the relationship that South Africa has with the People's Republic of China. It shows that South Africa's just energy transition is being realized through very practical actions that we are embarking upon. And now as a country, we have committed to transition our society and economy along a low-carbon, climate-resilient pathway that is in line with our domestic and international obligations.
To this now, South African motorists could soon enjoy far fewer trips to license renewal centres. Transport Minister Barbara Creecy says that Cabinet's decision to extend the validity of driving licences for codes A, A1, B and EB from 5 to 10 years will ease pressure on the system and improve service delivery and help stamp out corruption within the licensing process.
Snaking queues, system failures, disappointment and exhaustion by those who wake up at the crack of dawn to renew their driving licenses will be a thing of the past after this announcement by Cabinet. Transport Minister says the decision was taken due to the overwhelming complaints from frustrated motorists.
Members of the public were complaining that it takes time, they have to have their eyes tested, they must take a day off work, they must go and sit in queues. So these were complaints we were receiving from the public.
Motorcycle drivers and light motor vehicles are the biggest winners.
The major category of drivers who will benefit from this reform is drivers who drive light motor vehicles and also motorcycles. Most of us have what's called a Code B license, but it's also A, A1 and EB.
The public has welcomed the extension.
I think it's the best thing they could ever do, because the long lines, every 5 years standing in a queue, it's exhausting. The 10 years is better.
I agree with her about like the elderly maybe getting a couple more check-ins, but otherwise, thanks.
I feel very much happy because I don't have to come here more often. At least the extension of 10 years, it's a very long time.
The department says heavy commercial and public transport vehicles will remain subject to the existing 2 or 5 year renewal cycles, while professional driver permits, known as PDP, will also remain on the 2 renewal cycle. Calvin Luther, SABC News, Centurion.
Thank you for staying with us. To this now, South Africa is working to bring home the remains of freedom fighters who died in exile. The focus is now on Angola, which has many liberation fighters and camps. In 2024, President Ramaphosa received remains from Zambia and Zimbabwe. The Angola mission is expected to be more complex.
A nation on a journey to healing, bringing home those who sacrificed their lives for freedom. The Resistance and Liberation Heritage Roots program, driving efforts to locate, identify and repatriate South Africans who died in exile.
Of all the work that have been given by the president of this country, President Cyril Ramaphosa, this for me, I see it as labor of love. The instruction from the president was very clear. bring back all the remains, irrespective of political party.
We have in our website a page, Exile repatriation page, where there are forms for the families to complete. Whoever that is missing someone, they must go to our page at www.sara.org and go and land on that page, repatriation.
Where remains cannot be recovered, government says it will work with families on spiritual repatriation, allowing cultural and religious rights to be observed, ensuring that those who died in exile can still be honored at home. Khalihle Khumalo, SABC News, Pretoria.
To women's football news, Banyana would do well to draw inspiration from Bafana after finding themselves in a similar predicament after their opening match of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Bafana fought their way into the next round after an opening loss, and now Banyana must summon that same grit and determination. The 2022 African champions are, however, not panicking ahead of their crunch group stage fixture against the Ivory Coast in Casablanca tonight.
Banyana has a mountain to climb at WAFCON. They've reached the crossroads of the tournament where their fight or flight instinct needs to kick in. Tembi Khatlana wants the Banyana story to be a comeback one, similar to Bafana at the World Cup.
The game of emotions. Everyone wants to win, but it is the teams that lose and then pick themselves up and then come back, and we have that opportunity. We've been in a similar situation before where things didn't go our way, but the next game we came back.
Banyana's loss to Tanzania was compounded by the Ivory Coast's decisive 4-1 victory over Burkina Faso. Banyana midfielder Gabriela Mudli Salgado, who could win her 50th cap, says the assignment against the West Africans is clear.
Took a lot of lessons from the first game, and we know exactly what we need to do going into this next game. It's a must-win for us, so we're going to go out there and give our all.
Coach Desiree Ellis has urged her players to look forward and not to dwell on a bad result.
We all know we could have done better, but we've put that behind us. If you worry too much about what has happened, what you should have done, what you didn't do, you forget that you still have another game to play. You forget that you have to plan for this game, and this game is now the next game that is important.
South Africa and the Ivory Coast meet in Casablanca at 7 p.m. tonight. Simon Burke, SABC News.
The South African Broadcasting Corporation will not broadcast the opening fixtures of the 2026-27 Betway Premiership season scheduled for Saturday. Regrettably, the negotiations regarding the PSL sub-licensing agreement remain ongoing, and while discussions with Canal Plus continue to progress positively, the agreement has not yet been finalized. The organization remains committed to concluding the outstanding agreement as soon as possible and hopes to commence the Betway Premiership broadcast from the 15th of August 2026. All right, from the sporting grounds to climate talk, it is that time of day for us to check in with our weather experts for a view into the skies. Your forecast is coming up next. We have reached the end of our broadcast for this evening, and we thank you for spending your time with us. We will be back with you again on Monday and back to our regular 8 p.m. slot. Until then, from all of us, have a wonderful weekend and take care.